Hey, what's going on, screen printers? Ryan here with Texsource Screen Printing Supply, doing a video today covering our Plasticharge mixing system. What's so great about this system, it allows any printer who prints with plastisol inks to turn those inks into a dischargeable ink. The difference between discharging an ink and printing with regular plastisol is plastisol inks just sit on top of the fabric. They don't actually penetrate into the garment. Whereas discharging with those plastisol inks allows you to dye those fabrics, it penetrates into the garment and it actually re-dyes the garment a different color. So the main difference between is plastisol gives you more hand feel, whereas discharging gives you a softer hand feel on the garment. So basically you're bleaching out the shirt, if you want to call discharge a bleach. When you're bleaching out a shirt, if you've ever done this when you're younger, you can't bleach out a lighter color shirt or white shirt because it doesn't show up, which is the reason why darker garments are only good when discharging with inks. Which brings me to only 100% cottons can be discharged correctly. 100% polyester garments don't discharge at all because the polyester fibers and the dyes in those fibers will not allow the discharge inks to release correctly into those garments. That doesn't mean you can't discharge a 50% cotton, 50% polyester, or a tri-blend shirt. You can also discharge those because it has part cotton in it, but only on a tri-blend 25% of that garment is going to discharge, or on the 50-50 only 50% of that shirt is going to discharge. The cotton side only will discharge correctly, which will leave you with more of a distressed look or a lighter. It's not going to be as bright or as opaque of a print as if you were printing on 100% cotton shirts. So again, this system is great for any screen printer out there because it allows most of you guys who are printing with plastisol inks to turn those inks into a dischargeable ink, which also brings me to it is best to use this with max opaque inks or super opaque inks because those have a higher pigment load, which will also leave a brighter opaque print once you go to print on the shirt. So now we're going to mix a few of these colors. Tune in and check it out. So a continuation of our video on Plasticharge inks, we're going to show you how to mix these inks with your plastisol. This kit comes with, it's a 3-quart kit or a gallon kit. The kit comes with a Plasticharge additive, which is a clear additive that you add to your plastisol. It comes with a discharge agent, which is a ZFS powder. And it also comes with a bright discharge white. So we have here a max opaque lime green that we're going to mix today. Be sure to always zero out your scale. Scale is needed during this so you can get your accurate measures. So we're going to go and mix 100 grams of our lime green. That ended up being 117 grams, so we're going to go with that. So the mixing ratios when mixing Plasticharge additive is 50% of your plastisol, 50% of your additive. So basically, whatever you weigh out, I weighed out 117 grams of my plastisol. I'm going to add 117 grams of my additive. It's a 50-50 ratio. Always make sure to clear out your scale. So now I'm going to add 117 grams of my additive, and you can see it's just a clear, semi-viscous liquid. That is 119, a little bit over, which is not going to hurt it. So 50% plastisol, 50% of our additive. And you can see the mixture there. So we're just going to mix that in together. And then we will add 6%, a max of 6% of our powder to this. Now, the thing to remember is once you mix your powder, you have a shelf life of 8 to 12 hours once mixed. All right, so we have mixed 50% of our plastisol with 50% of our additive. Now we're going to add 6% of our powder. We added 118 grams of the plastisol, so times that by 2 gives you roughly around 235, a total of 235 grams of ink. And if you do 6% powder, it's going to be roughly around 14 grams of powder. So always remember to clear your scale. And this bucket is full, so I'm going to slowly dip this out for 14 grams of powder. Has exactly 14 grams. So now you can see this mixture. You have your ink, 50-50 plus 6% of the powder. You're going to mix that in together. At first, when you start mixing it, it'll be a little bit clumpy when adding that powder. You just want to keep mixing it until all the clumps and the powder has been mixed in perfectly. So we've mixed our ink, we've mixed 50% of our Plasticharge additive with 50% of our plastisol ink, along with 6% of our powder. The screen we're using is a 156. It's recommended to print the discharge ink through a 110 up to a 160. This allows you to put enough ink down to soak into the shirt, penetrate the fibers, allow it to get a good discharge once it goes through the dryer. Also, we're using a water-resistant emulsion. This isn't a water-based ink, however, it does have characteristics like water-based. Also, the powder that is added into this is a little aggressive, so it tends to break down screens with photopolymer emulsion, so it's best to use a water-resistant or dual cure, that sort of thing. Also, this is a one-color design. You can print multicolor designs, but it's recommended to not have your artwork to overlap. If you overlap the colors, it will just discharge into a muddy color. There's no way to separate it, so it's best to print, when printing multiple colors, to have your artwork separated. If you have lines that are touching, it'll be fine. Just make sure your registration is on point. So now we're going to go and print this shirt. You can see the consistency. It's really runny, like water-based, but again, we're printing with plastisol. Now, when printing with these, it's always recommended to leave your screen flooded at all times, because if you print and clear this image and you walk away, this discharge ink can tend to dry up in your screen. So it's always good to keep it flooded. So you can see the image on this dark shirt. It's very light. You can't really tell. It's not bright or vibrant. That's because we have not ran it through the dryer yet. Once it's ran through the dryer and the gases are released with the discharge agent and the ZFS powder, it will dye this garment or bleach this garment the color that we mixed with our ink. Let's get a little closer look of this. So that's the shirt. Cure temp, still 320 degrees. We're printing with plastisol ink, so you still need to cure at 320. This will cure easier than water-based, because water-based you have to cure long enough for all the water to evaporate out of the image, whereas it's plastisol, and so you don't need a heavy-duty dryer when curing with this. So as you can see, as it's come through the dryer, the color has gone from being really light and very hard to see as it's come through the dryer. It's now cured and has discharged this shirt into a green color. All right, screen printers, so we just finished printing our Plasticharge ink. This kit comes in gallon size and quart size. The products that comes with it is a Plasticharge additive, which is the clear additive that you add to your plastisols. It comes with an agent or powder that you mix in with it, as well as a bright discharge white. The reason why it comes with the white is because you do not want to use your existing white ink in your shop. It's not going to be as vibrant. White ink comes in polyester form, comes in low bleed form. There's a lot of different whites out there. So this kit was made to already include a white. So when you go to mix your white discharge, the only thing you need to add is the powder only. So when you're discharging white ink and powder only. When you're mixing a color, you use your existing plastisol color that you have, 50%, along with 50% of your additive and 6% ZFS. So that's the mixing ratios. Remember that once you mix your discharge agent to your inks, you have up to 12 hours, a 12-hour window to print with that. Once that 12-hour window is over, your ink's pretty much done at that point. Some of our customers say that they've added their inks and put them into a fridge and left them overnight and come back the next day and it's printed, but we don't necessarily recommend relying on that fact. So this was our final product. You can mix any color in with your additive. So I could have printed a red, a green, blue, any color that I want to print, I can with this kit. And this is, again, great for small shops because most of you guys out there are printing with plastisol inks as it is already. It allows you to turn any of your plastisols into a dischargeable ink. The reason being, like I said earlier in the video, it gives you a soft hand feel, kind of like water-based, except you do not need the water-based pigments, that sort of thing. So another positive for this is you don't necessarily need a large dryer like you would with water-based. A lot of water-based inks require forced air, that sort of thing. With the Plasticharge system, you do not need as big of a dryer with this system. So it allows the smaller shops to be able to cure with heat guns, flash units, that sort of thing. Just remember to test your shirts at the end, wash them to make sure that it's cured properly, or do a stress test and pull the shirt. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Visit us online at screenprintingsupply.com, and thanks for visiting.